Hello and welcome to Future Fit Leadership. I'm your host, Sadna Smiles, and welcome to our Spotlight series where I speak with bold, curious, and forward thinking leaders about the world of leadership we're stepping into. These conversations are here to challenge, inspire, and remind you that the future of leadership is being shaped right now by leaders like you. Because let's be honest, we are the generation of leaders writing the new rules. Please enjoy my conversations in this Spotlight series. Joining us today is Penny Locaso, who is the world's first happiness hacker on a quest to teach 10 million humans how to flourish in life. Penny, welcome to our Spotlight series. How are you?
Always happy to be here with you, Sadana. Thanks for the opportunity for another conversation. I am amazing on a beautiful day.
Well, I'm looking forward to your answers. So let's get into it. If you had to
Excellent.
describe a future fit leader in just 3 words, the kind of leader who you believe we'll need for the future or the years ahead, what would they be and why?
Oh, they would be inclusive, they would be compassionate, and I'm going to have more than 3 words. They would be long term focused
Okay, tell us why.
because I think there's a complete and utter lack of those three things in leadership at the moment. And I think it's why so many people feel so overwhelmed with the state of the world.
Compassion is an interesting one. Not, I haven't had one leader actually use that word before. Why have you picked that?
Because it's probably twofold. I am a crazy behavioural scientist that is kicking off two research projects at once. One is my thesis in psychology, and I am focusing on compassion as part of that thesis, and compassion in the context of how it would shape a different kind of leader and create better quality decisions. And the other research project, which is equally linked, has come off the back of my curiosity around how women lead and how different that is from men when they do it on their terms, and how fundamental compassion is as a component of that leadership style.
What's the one future shift coming in the next few years that you think most leaders are underestimating or not prepared for?
Oh, these are such good questions. The rise of women leading on their terms, not based on outdated leadership models that were never built with them in mind. So, this concept of wise, compassionate leadership, which I saw written about in Harvard Business Review, which is basically defined as getting tough things done in a human way.
Mm.
I think we are going to see a hell of a lot more of it. And what leadership looks like, I think the world is going to demand something different.
Do you think that'll have an impact on, we talk about women taking on roles like the glass cliff, etc. Do you think that'll have an impact on it?
I definitely think it will have an impact on it because I think what has happened, perhaps even unconsciously, is that women have played the leadership game. Like, we have leadership models when we look at the evidence-backed ones that pretty much remain fundamentally unchanged. And like I say, they were never built with women in mind. And so if women define leadership on their terms and start doing it without asking for permission and without apologizing, I think that's when we start to see societal norms change. And ideally, things like the glass ceiling or the glass cliff perhaps start to not be as prevalent as what they once were.
What do you wish more leaders were paying closer attention to?
Challenging how they perceive leadership. So, actually, consciously bringing to the forefront how you define leadership and whether that definition truly aligns with how you would lead if the opinions of others didn't matter.
I like that. If the opinions of others didn't matter, how would you lead? That's
Mhm.
an interesting thing to think about from a leadership perspective.
Well, because it comes back to, I think, that we are sold, a leadership model. We do leadership training. I honestly think the world doesn't need another leadership training program.
Or another
There
leadership
are,
book.
no. Yeah. And I think what the world needs is people asking themselves, if I could lead on my terms, and like I say, without being concerned about what others would think of that, and in a way that truly aligned with my values, what would that look like? Because I think many people lead based on what they're told will make them successful.
What are the possibilities or shifts you see in the future of leadership or work that genuinely excites you, and why?
More women leading on their terms and not apologizing for it. And it excites me because I have got this amazing program which is called Impact Makers, which is across executive and entrepreneurship. And these women are actually doing that off the premise of wanting to have a positive impact in the world and the lives of others. And watching them come together and disrupt the traditional leadership models and stop giving a shit what others think.
Mhm.
It blows my mind, the opportunities and the impact that they're having as a collective.
And my last one to you is, if you could
Mm.
embed one leadership quality into every current or future CEO, something you believe will be essential for the next decade, what would it be and why?
Compassion. Without a doubt, compassion. So I think most people, and I know I didn't until I studied compassionate inquiry with world-renowned Dr. Gabor Mate, in order to understand why women had so many unconscious blocks. Um, and what I understood is that most of us are impacted by trauma, and the only way to overcome those unconscious blocks is through compassion and inquiry. I think it is compassion. And why will it matter even more in the next decade? I think because so many of us are longing for a more inclusive and a more sustainable future. We're looking for leaders that think long term, that actually act in a human way. And I think compassion is at the core of that. And I think most people don't think about the word and definitely don't think about the meaning, nor therefore the application in terms of how that would enable you as a leader to define yourself differently and own
Mm.
perhaps an edge that others aren't currently in.
I'm going to ask you one more question. And I don't do this with everybody, but I will with you today. When you talk about compassion, I'd
Mm.
love you to maybe link it into some behaviors that you see are compassionate behaviors that we could bring into the workplace.
So when I talk about compassion, so you can't show compassion for others unless you show it for yourself. So I would say before you go and bring it into the workplace,
Mm.
one of the most powerful things that I have learned for myself that has made me a better leader is asking myself, when things are tough, what would compassion look like for me today? And then going and doing that thing. So, in terms of bringing that into the workplace, actually asking yourself when you're in those difficult situations, what compassion would look like for you, and bringing that to the forefront of your mind will enable you just by default to be a more compassionate leader, because it will calm your central nervous system. And we know that when our central nervous system is triggered, we go into fight or flight mode more often than not. Some people freeze. When that happens, the rational brain is shut down and we go offline. It impacts our ability to innovate, to make quality decisions, and to think long term. So, bringing compassion into the workplace in terms of how you apply it to yourself will enable you to be a better leader in all three of those facets, because it brings your central nervous system back to homeostasis, which is that place where you feel grounded and you can actually lead with intention.
Love it. Penny, thank you so much for joining us on this Spotlight series. As always, I love our conversations.
The pleasure is mine, Sadhana. Thanks for having me.
I hope you're enjoying our conversation. A quick word from our sponsor. Have you ever wondered how to attract, develop, and augment diverse leadership capability in your organization? Well, Future Leadership has a range of leadership solutions, including executive search, interim executives, leadership development programs, coaching, and workforce transformation specialists. They are an Australian-owned B Corp and one of very few globally accredited and connected talent solution firms. They are very proud of their 22-year history, bringing more diverse leadership to Australian decision-making tables. See the link in our show notes to get in touch with them. If you like what you've heard, please share, rate, and review this podcast. And don't forget to share it with anyone who might benefit from hearing it. The producer of Future Fit Leadership is Maritza Barone from Guide Your Light Network. If you would like to reach out to me, please DM me on any of my social media platforms. I'm available for speaking at conferences or consulting to your business. Future Fit is created in partnership with Future Leadership, a capability ecosystem for boards and executives. If you'd like to join the community and receive a free takeaway each week, sign up to the Future Exchange app in my show notes. Thank you for having me in your space.